Hey everyone, another comic book review. Haven't done one of these in a while. Bend, you bitch. Just fucking bend. I'm working with a different table now, so this is going to be super awkward. I mean, my phone is hooked up to this thing that's hooked up to this drawer, and my knees keep on hitting the drawer. Maybe if I just turn to the side. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay. So we are reviewing Battle Maiden Knuckle. So as you can probably, notice, this is thick. Almost as thick as her thighs. And as you may have not noticed, this is actually a signed copy. You can barely kind of see the signature. I mean, I guess you can see it if you put a little bit of light on it, but other than that, it just kind of blends in with the background. Couldn't you have done it maybe over here, where it's lighter and not the same exact color as the marker that you were writing with? Or you could have, I don't know, done it on the inside, maybe over here? I don't know, man. What are you doing? Along with the book, we got these little art cards, which are pretty damn cool. We got the trading cards right here, which I guess are pretty interesting, although, I'm not going to be actually trading any of these. And I guess the idea is the reason why these weren't in here is because you can't fit them all. There's just too much, too thick, almost as thick as her legs. And then we got the little pinup, another signed one that you can actually see. Now let's just do a short comparison. Yep. I do like this little art piece we got here too, but that face. I mean, it does look a little bit off, doesn't it? I guess the idea is it's supposed to kind of look like she's squinting. But enough about the perks, let's talk about the book! So I admit, upon flipping through the book, you're going to catch a lot of fan servicey moments that'll definitely catch your eye. And I flipped through the book and just looked at the art before actually reading it, and I was thinking to myself, oh man, this is gonna be a little bit lewd, isn't it? And then I actually got into reading it, and nah, it's really not that bad. It's extremely mild. Just the art is lewd. So we start off with the classic, right into the fight, and then it goes into, yesterday, this is how this all happened. Here we go. And I'll admit, besides the cool opening fight sequence, the beginning was actually kind of slow. I mean, we spend a lot of time getting introduced to all these different side characters, and I kind of question if I need to actually know all these side characters. I understand wanting to introduce every single character within the first issue, but do you have to? You can introduce them when they're important. I mean, is this girl over here super important? Is she going to show up the next issue and just save the day, and you need to know who she is to understand how she saves the day? Even this guy, is he so important? I kind of thought this side villain over here was going to show up later, but no, he doesn't. So is he that important? Who is important in this book? Just show me those people. There's a lot of build-up around the uncle, what he does. There's this whole page basically just explaining. I don't really need it explained that much, especially in this way, because they kind of do it in an in-dialogue way, which is I mean, sometimes when I read comics, I'm in full editor mode. So all I could think was, wow, you don't need this entire page. You maybe need that one panel of her saying goodbye to her friends. This you don't need. Even this you don't need. You can just she's going to see her uncle, and then the next panel, he's opening up her present, and she goes, oh, happy birthday. Oh, thank you so much. And then, converted to, but I don't need all this. I don't need any of this. So then we get into Panty Shot. That's subtle. I mean, the action in this comic is actually pretty cool. It got me quite pumped up. One of my favorite parts about like one of these first action scenes is she's beating up all her henchmen, and it lasts for a while. She's just kind of like, this is kind of amusing, you know, like every single villain does. And then it just abruptly ends. And you know why it ends? This bitch just shoots her. Like, alright, that's enough. So then her uncle is using his science on her, and she is naked in a tube. That's subtle. And basically, when she wakes up from the tube, she has become She-Hulk, and it is pretty great. She just whapping these guys all around the room. So then they are testing her abilities to see what other kind of wild card ability she might have. Just to clarify, yes, that is a tongue that has been wrapped around her crotch and in between her tatas, because that's subtle. And she picks up that bitch and does pseudo slam! That is probably my favorite scene. Just fucking wham! But frustratingly, it'll end on a cliffhanger, and who knows what issue 2 will give us. So then at the end, we have all these other different characters. They kind of are explaining. You get to see like a little 2 pages about the author type thing and the origin of the story, which is nice. I like that when they give you a little bit more insight into, okay, how did this comic come to be? Let me tell you a little story. And then we got some pretty sick fan art, man. Oh, and there's my boy A.V. Jacobs. Great artist right there. We got a little bit from Leg Day. And then this one, probably one of my favorites. This one is good old superhero landing. And that's subtle. Anyway, Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb. Pretty solid story. It definitely feels like a good mixture of kind of that manga style along with the American comics. And if you're into extra thick, you're going to be quite satisfied with the length of the first issue. Wink, wink. Yeah, I know. I'm real subtle too. I do wish that it wasn't as slow as it was. I'm super fast paced when it comes to reading. Like, I read everything very fast, and I like getting through a story fairly quickly. So whenever like comics are too wordy or it takes too long for something to happen, especially when I know that something's going to happen and it takes a little bit longer than I expect it to happen, then I just get a little bit frustrated. I'm not really into that idea. I know some people like to savor the comic and they want things to take as long as possible. But not me. But once you get past like the beginning slowness, I think that it's pretty fairly paced, and I enjoyed it, and you will probably enjoy it as well. So let me know if you have read this comic, what you think about it, if you're excited for the next issue of Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Program restart.